Well, for years, Democratic leaders have fought against securing the border. They passed sanctuary city laws. They made it clear that in their view, there are only two kinds of people in the world: the defective Americans who already live here, you and me, and the superior future Americans who inhabit the rest of the planet but should be allowed to come here as swiftly as possible. If you disagree, by the way, you're a bigot. It's as simple as that. This rhetoric worked perfectly for Democrats up until something unexpected happened. The president threatened to agree with them. Last week, he said he was ready to give them exactly what they've been demanding: illegal immigrants, fresh from the border, as many as possible, bust directly to their front doors like a package from their favorite company, Amazon. You'd think they'd be thrilled, but they weren't. They were angry. They said Trump was going to dump immigrants on them. Dump! Like used cars and the tires in the woods. In an interview with CBS News, Senator and presidential candidate Cory Booker accused the president of something sinister. Watch this.
I say he's trying to pit Americans against each other and make us less safe, because what you're seeing now...
So you take the threat seriously?
I take this. He is injecting fear into our country. And so if he was looking to solve a problem, he wouldn't be doing things to divide this country against itself.
Wait a second, to those of you following at home. Did you catch the wording there from Senator Booker, who's an actual U.S. senator from New Jersey who went to Yale Law School, way smarter than you? He says that bringing in illegal immigrants will make us less safe. But that can't be true, because he's already told us that illegal immigrants are way more law-abiding than you are. They commit way fewer crimes. And how can bringing in immigrants pit Americans against each other if all immigrants do is work hard and grow the economy? It sounds like bigotry talking. Is Senator Booker a bigot? And what about Cher? She used to be some kind of liberal actor / singer, but now she's tweeting things like this. And this is a real tweet. Quote, "I understand helping struggling immigrants, but my city, Los Angeles, isn't taking care of its own. What about 50,000 plus U.S. citizens who live on the streets, people who live below the poverty line and are hungry? If my state can't take care of its own, and many are vets, how can it take care of more?" Whoa. The virus is spreading. Is Cher a bigot now, too? What is going on? To unravel these mysteries, we're joined by lawyer and former Bill and Hillary Clinton advisor Richard Goodstein. Richard, thanks a lot for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
So when Cory Booker says, and this is sincerely confusing to me, dumping illegal aliens into our cities will make them less safe, how can that be true when we know from him and you and everybody else on the left that they actually make us safer?
So actually, it's the libertarian group, the Cato Center, that basically did the research that said that undocumented immigrants commit crimes at a much lower rate than native-born Americans. So you could laugh, but take it up with them, not me or liberals. They're the ones who put that out there.
I've actually taken it up with them like 20 times, but I'm just interested in Booker, and Cher. I'm not attacking anybody, but if they are less likely to commit crimes and are really the core of our economy, and if they're the most American among us, then why in the world would you be calling them garbage who make our cities more dangerous, as Senator Booker just did?
Yeah, he's not calling them garbage. Look, I think that...
Well, dumping them.
The president's signature campaign promise was to have Mexico pay for that wall, which would have kept all this from even being an issue. He failed on that. It's counterproductive. Remember, he mocked people saying, "Oh, I want a trip to Disneyland." So what's he doing? He's giving them an all-expensive paid trip to a great city. They would never even have dreamed of getting there. But hold on. For 40 years, we've taken refugees and moved them into rural and poor America. Why wouldn't we move them into Pacific Heights in San Francisco? And why don't we move it? No, I'm sincere. Instead of every time they come, they go to the Mahoning Valley, or they go to Bethlehem, PA, or they go to Lewiston, Maine. Why don't we send them into our zip code and into Nantucket? I'm not joking. Because I think what President Trump is talking about is sending thousands of people with no job, no family connections, no resources, and then having them go into a community where they have no roots, no nothing. So, of course,
if you send 10 with millions of people, every decade you have a totally different country, basically.
If you send 10,000,
no one cares.
Yeah, if you send 10,000 or 100,000 people from Norway or North Dakota
to Pacific Heights, it would be alarming, too, having nothing to do with the color of their skin or whatnot. So I think what Cory Booker says is almost undeniable.
Wait, you're making my argument. Wait, hold on, wait a second. You're making my argument, and God bless you for doing it. I believe what you just said, and I agree with it. It's not about race. It's about the pace of change. People can't handle it, and why should they have to handle it? I agree with that. And people called me a white nationalist for saying that, but you said the same thing, and you're right. But I'm just asking, why don't we have the same concern about the rest of the country that is getting this imposed on them, and nobody cares? Why don't we care?
The problem, Tucker, is the president tried this in the 2018 campaign about caravans. That didn't work. Ed Gillespie, as you remember, famously tried it about MS-13 in the run-up to his election day, and he went from being tied to losing by 9. This is a tactic. The president has tried it the day he came down that escalator. He's going to try it on Election Day in 2020 and every day in between. And it's unproductive. Politically, it's unproductive.
Maybe it does one thing, but hold on.
And it incentivizes people to come. That's the other problem.
You're right, of course, but maybe it makes us more compassionate toward the rest of the country who don't live in the zip codes that we do, coastal, affluent zip codes. And when they complain about immigration, maybe they're not bigots. Maybe they just want some control over what happens to their town.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
And I think comprehensive immigration reform is essential. That's what the president's trying to accomplish. Go back to the 2013 deal that had Rubio, Lindsey Graham, and other pinkos supporting it. That's the basis for a bill.
This is the right. This is not that.
It's there. Pelosi and Schumer offered him a deal.
You're coming closer to the answer, though, and I appreciate it.
You got it.